And welcome back to the Upside Sports Network. My name is Michael. Appreciate you guys joining us. Going to do some fantasy football with you guys right now. Going to do a couple of live drafts tonight. NFL does open up on Thursday. We'll try to do the live for you guys then. Kansas City versus Detroit, I believe, is the Thursday night game. The NFL kicks off its schedule anyway. So without further ado, let's get to it, shall we? Now, as we've told you guys before, we do like to try to use ESPN Fantasy Football. It's the one we kind of grew up with here at the Upside. We've got a lot of experience with it. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't use other apps out there. I know there's a lot of different choices nowadays as far as where you can play. Yahoo, you can pay or do the weekly game as well. Just redraft a team every single week. We like to do the season-long fantasy football. It's just a lot more. How do I put this? A lot more invested into it, if you will. Each week, just trying to get your team to do the best. And if you get teams that have, say, in a prize pool, those kinds of things, those are pretty fun as well. So let's kind of dig into it. Now, as I said, I like to use ESPN, so you can go over to there if you want to check it out. We'll go ahead and do a public league for now. We're going to do pro because we've done fantasy football before, points per reception, because, well, again, we've done this before. Points per reception, just make it a lot more fun. I was pretty new to it up until probably 3 years ago when I finally came around to the PPR format. Just a lot more points are available for wide receivers than there would have been previously. Running backs really kind of dominated fantasy football, say 10 years ago. Now that things have kind of equaled out, I think the wide receivers have a little bit more of an edge, at least the upper echelon of those receivers. Now, that doesn't mean running backs still don't have their due. They still are very much valuable in fantasy football, but not necessarily as far away of a runaway train as it used to be. So let's go ahead and do a let's go ahead and do a salary cap draft. Those are usually a little tougher later in the day. So we're going to go ahead and do one early. They want us to log in. There we go. Hopefully this league will fill quickly. Save changes. I don't think this room is going to fill very quickly, but hopefully it does. In case you guys are unfamiliar with the difference between a snake draft and an auction-style draft, snake drafts, essentially you start out with $200 that you can bid towards different players. $185 is your max bid that you can spend on any one player, but that doesn't mean you want to spend $185 on one player. You want to try to build the best roster you possibly can. Keep in mind that you don't necessarily want to invest in just 2 or 3 pieces and then have nothing left for the rest of your roster. You at least want to field a very solid starting lineup anyway every single week, and then still have a couple of good bench pieces thereafter. Now, I've seen a couple different people do it different ways. One, you can try to get the highest level floor that you possibly can and have starters at every single spot and fill-ins for every single week. Now, that does restrict you as far as the ceiling that you might have from other talent, so you don't necessarily want to go completely that route. Now, the other option, of course, would be going the route of getting those high-end pieces like a Justin Jefferson or an Austin Eckler or a Travis Kelce to be the aircraft carrier of your team. And those pieces might be great, but if you go for 3 of them, that literally leaves you with almost nothing left for the rest of your starting lineup, let alone your bench. So keep those kinds of things in mind, and we shall see how things go. I got 4 people into this league already. Hopefully it does end, or hopefully this room does fill pretty quickly. If you guys are new and you guys want to go ahead and try to join the league, you can. You do have some time right now. Just watching some college football while we await this lobby to get going. Looks like Clemson finally took the lead over Duke, and looks like this game is going to be a runaway freight train after that. But Clemson's probably going to roll Duke here. Got about 4 minutes left in this lobby anyway. If you guys want to join, feel free. After we do this one, we'll try to do a snake draft thereafter. See if we get something other than Travis Kelce in the first round. A lot of great baseball out there today. Rangers and Astros started a big 3-game series. Close game until the 7th when the Astros blew the doors off of them and ended up winning 13-6. Nathan Eovaldi makes his long-awaited return for the Rangers. Was in the Cy Young conversation up until his injury. And then Max Scherzer will go on Wednesday against his former teammate in Justin Verlander. We will try to have that game on Wednesday for you guys. That one starts at about 6 o'clock. I think it's 6 o'clock. $7 o'clock. Okay. So yeah, we'll do that one for you guys on Wednesday. Probably do another live for you guys tomorrow with the NFL season upon us. Kind of catch up on all the headlines from around the NFL. Sounds like Kansas City is going to be without Chris Jones for at least week 1. Kansas City did get Kadarius Toney back healthy. He will be good to go week 1. So we do get a good idea of what the Kansas City breakdown of snaps will be for their receivers after week 1 with Toney coming back. Five in this lobby. Hopefully this fills up here. If you guys want to join in this league, you're more than welcome to. Playing on ESPN right now. Just got 3 spots left in this league. 1:55 till the draft begins. We'll try to do a little bit different type of a strategy than we have in the other salary cap drafts we've done. Try to go a little bit more for some high-end pieces than we have in other drafts. If you guys are new here to the Upside, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Got 2 spots left in this league. A minute left to draft. Doing a salary cap PPR league on ESPN. If you guys want to join, feel free. Got a couple of videos coming out for you tomorrow. One getting you guys ready for the NFL, and the other one kind of recapping how things have gone around Major League Baseball for the past week. $45 left, one spot left. Let's see if we can get this league filled up and have nobody leave, which always seems to happen, unfortunately. There we go. $30 left. The way this draft will work, you do nominate players first. You do not automatically get them because you nominated them. You have to win the bidding for them. So kind of keep that in mind. Just because you nominate them doesn't mean it's over. And hopefully this draft will begin and nobody dropped out at the last second. There we go. Alrighty, looks like we will be nominating 7th. Not bad. Doesn't really matter too much in a auction style draft or salary cap draft where you nominate. It's more about, who you ultimately bid on. Looks like we got everybody except for 3 in the room already, so looks like we might have an active room. Two minutes left to our draft starts. Now, if you'll notice here at the top where it says players, watch draft summary kind of highlight, then rules will highlight, and then budgets. Go ahead and click on budgets if you're new to this type of format. You'll notice here where it says remaining budget, 200. That's what you see at the top right there. Now, if you click on this button here where it says max offers, that's the one I like to see, because when I'm drafting, I like to see what the other teams have available to spend on other players. So, for instance, if the auto pick only has, say, $1 or $2 left, if you bid $2, obviously you can't bid $3, and you might save yourself an extra $1 when bidding on a player that nobody else wants. If you want to outbid everybody for, say, Justin Jefferson, you could instantly bid $185. Not saying to do it, but nobody else could outbid you if you bid $185. So that's kind of how that works for you. You can queue players that you might want to have notify you when they are brought up in queue, whenever they are put on auction. That way, if you need to step away, you can hear it pop up for a minute. You notice kind of the highest price as far as value for ESPN anyway. Justin Jefferson 59, Chase 58, Eckler 58, and so forth and so on. You'll notice the quarterback position significantly lower, 30 for Mahomes and Allen, 29 for Hurts, and then it falls off quickly thereafter. Looks like we got about 30 seconds now, 20 seconds left. And we'll see who we get nominated. One thing you can do is early on, if you want to get rid of a lot of people's money extra, that you might not want to bid on a player, you can go after, say, like, you have no interest in a guy like Garrett Wilson, for instance. New York obviously has usually a good market of teams, of a number of fans that could be interested in a guy like Garrett Wilson with a new quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. So if you have no interest in Garrett Wilson, you obviously could bid, or you could nominate him and try to get others to go higher. Justin Jefferson looking like he's going to go above market value. And it looks like he's going to go to some actual teams, so that's good. Looks like he's probably going to go for 60 to 70, somewhere in there. If I had to guess, another bid will come. There it is. We'll see if it stops at 69. Nope, 67. Not bad. That's 8 above his market value coming into the draft. McCaffrey was 57. Looks like his value is going to get right to that mark. There we go. Looks like Sarufchik's going for the Uber lineup. 2 first-round picks, normally in a snake draft, going to him. Now we only have 1 auto pick in here to price in force. See if he goes for above value here. $1 or $2 below, not bad. 3 nominations till we get to nominate. Probably throw out a quarterback just to see how the market is. Or a Mike Williams. Ooh. 58. Nice job by Team Goodwin, immediately going up to 58 on the bidding. Very nice. If you really like the player, that can be a good way to scare everybody off, is by bidding such a high number like that and then making sure you retain above it. Pollard, some view as the #1 running back this year in fantasy. I do not. I think the touchdowns will be limited for Pollard. I think he'll get all kinds of yardage, but I worry about his production from a tight ends or from a touchdown standpoint. 1 away from nominating. First player nominated from the New York market. We'll see how this does. He's already at market value, and it's between actual players, so we might go the route of Garrett Wilson instead. Looks like they're getting into a little bit of a bidding war here. 5 over value right now. We'll see if we get to 6. Nope. Okay. We're just going to do quarterback, though. We're going to keep it simple and nominate Patrick Mahomes. Looks like he's already going to get to the market value. Ooh, got a little bit of a bidding war now. Okay. I guess that was the right decision. Up to 48. Wow. 49. 50 for a quarterback? Holy smokes. I guess I picked the right player to nominate. 52. Oh my. Wow. He's not even my number 1 quarterback this year. This might get all the way up to 62. Yep. That's where the bidding will end. You'll notice the max bid for one of them that was bidding in that war there was 61. That's why 62 is kind of the max bid there. 62 on a quarterback. Holy smokes. Whew. All right. Well, that was interesting. High prices for quarterbacks. We'll see if somebody else nominates a quarterback here, just to see if it's still going to be high or if it's just Mahomes. I really like Kelce this year. As you've seen in multiple drafts, we've drafted him in our snake drafts as the number 2 pick a couple of times. Reason being is because his position scarcity, the sheer level of dominance he has over anybody else at that position is unquestionable. I'm overpaying here for Kelce, but I want him on my team. That's what, a $6 overpay? We'll see if we can save some money now. Told you guys I was going to do this draft a little bit differently. If I was going to go for one of the high-end players, Kelce probably would have been the one I would have gone for again. Again, position scarcity. He's a good 100 points better than anybody else at the tight end spot. Diggs at 66. Holy smokes. This bidding is getting furious. I'd rather have Kelce for 63 than Diggs at 66. Wow. 61 for Adams. Wow. Wow. And just like that, he's got 3 great players, don't get me wrong, on his team. But now his max bid is 1, just so you guys can see how he ended up spending his money. McCaffrey, Jefferson, and Adams. That's a great 1, 2, 3. Say they each get you 25 points each. That gives you what, 75? You're not going to beat anybody with 75 week in, week out. You're still going to have to get a decent quarterback. You ain't going to get one now that you got $1. Nobody's going to bid him up? Wow. There you go. At least get him over 50. Anyway, just looking at his roster, you're probably going to be stuck with, let's say your second best running back is going to end up being, at best, DeAndre Swift. Maybe, if you're lucky. Jeff Wilson. That's your second runner. Not going to get it done. Freiermuth already above his value. Came in with a value of 3. Going for 5 already. Make it 10, 11. Holy smokes. This does not make any sense. 15 for Freiermuth. That's, what, 12 over his value? I'd rather have Kelce for 6 over his value. Yeesh. We're going to break 20 here. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense. Bijan. I pretty much will never get him on my team, but it'd be nice if I could get him for, say, 45. He's not going to go for that, but we shall see. Only 3 teams have not spent any money as of yet. Make it 2. $47 is his value. 48. Already met his value there. There we go. Another one underneath $100. Josh Allen. Okay, so this is the second quarterback. Mahomes went for more than double his price. Alright, so there's Allen for his price. Let's see how high this thing goes. Wow. That seems very muted compared to the Mahomes bidding. CeeDee Lamb. Much rather have him than Cooper Kupp, honestly. Wow. Looks like Lamb might go for 50 here. And he does. Wow. Alright, we're going to throw out Garrett Wilson. I want to see the New York people go crazy here. I'll be surprised if he stays under 40. 39. There's 40. Okay. Let's see how high this goes now. At least we've got full value for him. And he goes. Merriman drops their first player on their roster. Cooper Kupp will not make it on my team this year. Team M might take advantage. And they do. Now everybody has at least one player on their roster. Oh, I like Debo. I was hoping he'd at least be avoided being picked. He's going to go way above 22, I think. We're already at his value. My guess he's probably going to go north of 35. Wow. Only a modest overpay of 8. Metcalf, no thank you. But I'll help y'all bid. Already at his value now. Another player for the auto pick to eat. Nice. Joe Mixon. Hmm. $35 for Mixon, not bad. Ugh, David Montgomery. Ooh. They already got him over 12? Holy smokes. This doesn't make any sense. $20 for Montgomery? No thank you. The last of the top 5 running backs here. Looks like he's going to go for a pretty penny. Another one drops underneath 100. Only 3 left above 100, including us. Got a lot of wide receivers left and not a whole lot of running backs. Quarterbacks are plentiful, or plentiful, I should say. I'm a little bit more in on Jacobs than I was, say, 3 weeks ago, with him getting that or with his contract being settled for this year at least. But I still don't see myself bidding on him at 36. I'd still rather have Gibbs and Jones. Harris goes for 25. To Robertson. Nice. Another running back coming off the board. Welcome back, Jordan. ETN for 23. In case you're just joining us, Patrick Mahomes went for over $60 in this room. Absolutely insane prices. You just saw David Montgomery go for 20. Freiermuth went for 20. Just random players just going for insanely high points so far. Ugh. They're just taking all the running backs off the board. Almost have to bid on Jacobs there. Thank you. I was hoping somebody else would bid. Looks like somebody just disconnected. My team so far, I have Travis Kelce. I bid 6 over value. Thought I'd come into this draft doing a little bit different strategy than I've done before, where I try to get a lot of that, round 3 through 6 type of a talent. Let's go ahead and nominate Jackson here. But I wanted to get one player that was at least have a position of dominance here with Kelce. 100 points better is what I'm expecting anyway from Kelce this year than any other tight end. Jackson for 17 is a bargain. A little bit surprised they haven't gotten into a bidding war about it. Just looking at what's been drafted already, I wish it showed the actual dollar amount, but oh well. Here's Amon-Ra St. Brown. A lot of wide receivers left. I think that's my cap there for Amon-Ra. Especially with Brown and Waddle still on the board. Dang. Brown over 38, already up to 41. And another one drops underneath $100. Hurts, my number one quarterback this year. Go ahead and bid what I'm comfortable with. $31 for Hurts. He was pretty great last year. $33. Looks like this one's another one that could go north of 40. Oop, 38. Hey, I'll take it. 9 over value. I'm still happy with any one of these other quarterbacks, honestly, though. Ugh, and now the running backs. Yes. In a draft where everybody's going for above value, I get Jones for 5 under. I needed that one. And I'm still above 100 as well. Whew. Okay. I got my number one running back. I still want Gibbs. Ramondre, no thank you, but I'll help everybody else out in their bidding. Alright, I am the last one above 100, so not too bad. I was hoping people would wait a little longer before nominating Gibbs. I have a bad feeling he's going to go for way high. Okay. Overpaid for Gibbs as well, 6 over. There are only 1, 2, 3 teams that have more money than me so far. I have 0 interest in Higgins, Olave, Smith, Andrews, A.J. Brown going for way high again. I think he's probably going to get north of 40 here. Or could. It was the auto draft that was going against him. And he actually goes for 38. Not too bad. Let's look at the wide receiver spot. How many do I have that would qualify as a 1 or a 2? Waddle, Higgins, Ridley, Hopkins, Cooper, and Moore. Moore I consider more of a 3. I really do need Waddle and Ridley, though. And hopefully Cooper. Joe Burrow going for his price point there. So far I'm 7 over value currently with my team. This bidding is going to get high. This will take at least one of the teams that's above me down. There we go. Did you have to nominate Ridley? Did you have to? Full price for Ridley. This is the most overvalued team I've ever drafted. And it's not close. Looks like pricing is at least capping themselves at what their value is. I got Ridley, so I don't need to overpay here for Waddle. Hmm. Hopkins. Hmm. Auto pick can now no longer go above 18, so that's good. Need to get him lower than that, though. Godwin. Zero interest in this player. At least somebody bid. Get the auto pick to go higher. There we go. Even better. Come on, buddy. Nominate somebody. Ugh. He's going to go for high money. At least bid on him. Kupp and Brees for Akers and A.J. Brown. PPR, you also have Hurts. Well, you're getting the better receiver in my mind with A.J. Brown. I don't think Kupp's going to be worth what his draft position is this year. I would rather hold on to Brees than Akers, obviously, but that's a tough one. Because you have Hurts, I would probably do the trade. I'd regret losing Brees Hall, but A.J. Brown and his upside over Cooper Kupp, I think would be a little bit better for you. Now, you probably drafted both Kupp and Brees higher than Akers or Brown, in which case you're, kind of sacrificing some value there, but I still think you're getting the best player in the deal. So, hopefully that answers your question. If you can take out Brees and put another running back in there, would probably be best, but I wouldn't pass up the opportunity to make that trade if it ultimately came down to it, is my point, I guess. Christian Watson, hopefully somebody else bids up here. Hey, I'll take it. All right. '70's the high, 61, and then me at 52. I have the third biggest stack left. Hmm. I think right around here is where we're going to start to see some serious deals. Good competition here for Olave. 12 undervalue still. I don't want him on my roster though. I need wide receiver, but not at that price. I don't really have a true number 2 yet. Well, I have a true number 2. I don't have a number 1. So I'm probably going to have to load up on a couple of 2s and 3s. Olave would not fit the bill in my estimation. Going for 28? Heck yeah. 29. This draft will certainly work out differently than others have. Smith. If he goes for a deal, he'd be a decent number 3 receiver. But if I'm counting on him to be one of my starters, that's a mistake. And at the value of 23, he would have to be a starter. So pass. Hard pass. I'm going to have to count on Kelsey dominating every single week with the weakness at my wide receiver spot. See what a Mike Evans ends up going for. Pre-draft value of 9. It's actually a good pickup for Merriman. Only $7, $6 off of his max bid. Keenan Allen, value of 22. Probably going to go for 16, 17 here. Wow, stays at 15. That's a good price. Amari. I'll pay 18 for Amari. $20's a little bit of a reach. Okay, I'll take that. Hmm. See if I get him for 8. Man, this draft room is tough. Okay. Down to 26. I've got 3 runners. I need Madison more than anything else, I think, that's left on the board. What quarterbacks are left here? Basically 3, maybe 4 if you count Dak. Ugh. I have a feeling this is going to get pricey. Okay, I got 4 solid runners. I need a quarterback still. Hawk's going to go for a nice price here. He drops all the way down to 14. Let's look at wide receiver real quick. Moore is probably one of the best I have left. Kirk would be the next one. And then you get to unknowns. Come on, buddy, nominate your player. Jonathan Taylor knocked all the way down to 8 in value. That's interesting. Breece Hall. It's a great pickup for $7. Let's see what Mike Williams goes for. Herbert went high, so we'll see if they want to do a stack or something like that. Kamara going for 7 so far. Man, this draft room has gone different. Still got those quarterbacks there. Cam Akers, no thank you. Come on, boys and girls, let's nominate a little faster, shall we? Dalvin. I already have 4 running backs. I don't need another one. It's tough to pass him up. Alright. Saints defense, no thanks. Waller. He should be a nice player for somebody. This guy's got a pretty decent roster. Merriman. His is alright. Couple of overpays. I still like mine though. Wide receiver, I'm a little thin, but I think I'll fix that here in the next couple of picks. $4 for Miles Sanders. Damn. Probably should have grabbed him. Pacheco. I do want as much of that Kansas City offense as I can get, but I already have 4 good runners. 3 that I'll probably start most weeks. Madison being one of them. Connor's my number 4 running back. Let's see if we get another quarterback. Yep. we'll nominate Tua and just see if we get him for nothing, but worst case scenario, at least it'll eat up another quarterback spot for another team. It's a pretty good grab for them with their limited budget. They did pretty well. They didn't really overdraft anybody. I wouldn't have gone after Harris, but that's still a pretty decent roster. Cook goes for more than Sanders. That's surprising. And for more than Pacheco. Best defense in fantasy about to go here. I still would rather stream my defense week in and week out. I really like Javonte and Moore. Ooh. Jamal, heck yeah. See if I can get him for 3. There we go. I'll take it. Alright. He'll probably be my week 1 starter in place of Gibbs. Gibbs, I think, will be the starter for the season, but Williams will be my starter probably weeks 1 through 3 while Kamara is suspended. Williams has proven to be a very good fantasy running back when he gets the workload. Christian Kirk. That's my max there, I think, for Kirk. Steelers defense, no thank you. Alright, now let's look at our wide receiver room. Moore, Ayuk, Dotson, Moore, Njigba, Addison, Flowers, something like that. Quarterbacks, it's just Deshaun Watson, Lawrence, and Prescott that are left. Kittle should go for a pretty penny here. Well, 3 at least. Well, how many bench spots you got left? A whole bunch? You spent on Herbert and Fields? Interesting decision. Pittman here at 4. No thank you. He's got 4 receivers already. I don't think he has any appetite to spend more on a receiver. Davis, Yikes. Downside of overspending for Patrick Mahomes. And Joe Mixon. And Andrews. J.K. Dobbins. Sorry I've been burned by you too much. I will not be putting you on my fantasy team this year. Lockett, no thank you. I need receivers. I just don't trust any of the Seattle receivers outside of maybe Njigba, just because of their ceiling on him might be, top 20. Lockett, I think, is solid in the top 20 to 30 receivers, but I don't think there's a chance he gets into the top 15. And with my third receiver, I would like somebody who has at least some upper echelon talent. Let's go ahead and put out. Let's go ahead and put out Ayuk. If I end up with him, great. If I don't, oh well. Alright, so that makes, what, 3, 4 now down to the final dollar? Alright, so at least I have 3 receivers now. I only have $10 left, and I need to make sure I get a quarterback more than anything else right now. Brown, no thank you. If I had my pick for a receiver from a number 4, Judy would be up there. Dotson. Not a whole lot of talent left, honestly. See how many spots Team M has already filled up. He's still got plenty of bench, so not looking good. Does he already have a quarterback? Yes, he does. Alright, this would be a luxury pick for me. Heck yeah. I got all the running backs I could hope for right now. Still need another wide receiver and primarily a quarterback. Do not overpay on a kicker. Man, this is an ugly game. I told you guys Clemson was going to run away with it. Duke is on top, 13-7, and turnovers, poor execution. It's looking like a scrimmage more than an actual game. Ugh. How many spots does Merriman have left? A whole bunch. Davis, he's got a whole bunch. Alright, my flex is going to be stacked no matter what week it is. I've got 3 options at receiver. I still need at least one more. And then I need a quarterback. Preferably Watson or Lawrence. Third would be Prescott. Three, four, five are now down to $1. See what Dotson goes for here. It'll be a solid number 4 for me. And I'll take it. Alright. Now I just need a quarterback. Got $5 left to do it. I think we can do it. Cowboys defense, whew. They're going to be good this year. I don't believe all the pundits out there saying Philadelphia is going to run away and hide with this division. I saw one prediction where they had Philadelphia going 15-2 and Dallas going 7-10. Now, sure, do I think they could go 7-10? Do I think Philadelphia could go 15-2? Sure. I just don't think that there's any world that both happen in the same year. So, I mean, sure, Prescott could go down week 1 due to injury. Then they're left with Trey Lance at quarterback. That could happen. Eagles could continue to be, world beaters offensively. That'd be great for them. Brandon Cooks is going to go for $1. This Duke defense is playing well. See if I get Deshaun for $1. That'd be freaking awesome. Holy smokes! All right. Let's go. Jerry Jeudy. Let's look at my roster again. Got Dotson as my number 4 receiver. I could go Jeudy. I think I'd rather go Moore. Juju was the decent receiver that you wanted last year from Kansas City, outside of Kelsey. Another year with Moore in that system. I think it'll be between him and Tony to see who gets the better of the work out of there. It'd be awesome if I could get Trevor Lawrence as well. Be my backup quarterback. Pretty much stacked as far as my roster goes. A little light at receiver, but I'm okay with that since I've got the running back depth to cover it at the flex spot, and then I've got the ultra advantage this year in fantasy in Travis Kelce. Now, if I didn't have a tight end yet at this point, I would be looking for a guy like Dalton Schultz, who's proven before to be a good pass-catching option, and it's going to be in an offense that absolutely needs a sure-handed target for a young quarterback to throw to. He's going to go for a third quarterback. I don't think so. There we go. I still got $1 left. So I got my backup quarterback. I need one more receiver probably. Swift would probably be the only running back left I'd like. Cole Kmet, no thank you. In case you guys stuck around this whole time, we will be doing a normal snake draft after this one. There goes a couple of tight ends, 3 in the last 4 picks. Mostert's going to be a good running back this year, especially with the injury to Wilson and to the rookie running back there. He should get off to a decent week 1. Let's look at the wide receivers. Which one do we want? I think Sky Moore would be our first choice. Pickens would probably be second. Buffalo defense, no thank you. Give me Jacksonville's defense, week 1. Pickens, no thanks. I don't think so anyway. I still think I'd prefer Moore, even though I think Pickens would be a good option. Sutton's going to be good this year. Not great, but good. I have a feeling the bidding's going to get insane for Sky Moore. He's going to be in an every down role in this offense. It's pretty good. If I get more, that'd be great. I think somebody else will bid for him, though. Yep. Damn. Well, with him gone, Flowers probably. DeAndre Swift's a good option. I don't necessarily need a fifth receiver, especially if I'm not going to use him. Flowers. Hey, there we go. I just need a kicker. Carlson, probably the first choice. Butker, the second. Hey, we might get our first choice. Nope. Seriously? Bidding on kickers? You guys have a huge amount of holes on your roster, and you're bidding on kickers? Alright, who's left? Elliott. Koo. Probably Koo. Uh-oh. Duke's gonna score again. Almost. Wow. Clemson's going to lose their national title hopes in week 1. fumbles it on the goal line and returns it 70 yards into Clemson territory. It'll be 1st and 10 inside the 30. Just, wow. Clemson can't get out of their own way tonight. Missed kicks, blocked kicks, turnovers, 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 and more turnovers. Yuck. McManus would probably be the kicker all the way down here I would go for. Come on, boys and girls, let's go. Miss the days of ESPN having the option where you can say, no, I don't want this player, and then this part of this draft would go so much faster. Only 2 teams have filled their rosters completely. I will be done here momentarily. And we'll see how everything stacks up. I was going to do a snake draft after this one, but shoot, this last 3-4 pieces of the roster have taken half an hour. Come on, boys and girls, let's go. Jerick McKinnon, good option this late in the draft. Come on. Samaje Perine, no thanks. Grab the backup to my running back. Finally, we can finish this. Watch somebody bid. It's over. Finally, it's over. Oh, man. Okay. Let's kind of look at the roster and just see how everything went. It actually worked out pretty well. The draft started out pretty fun. A lot of people getting way overbid. Mahomes going for double his value. Freiermuth going for 4 times his value. A lot of crazy high bids early on. And not necessarily on the top end players either. It was pretty much every single player in the top 2 or 3 rounds of this normal 10-team snake draft was being drafted at $6 to $7 over their value. And then you got a few of those outliers that were double their value. Herbert, for instance, went for 19 or 20 when his value was like 10. I just saw some big numbers go for those types of players. And then we told you guys coming into this draft we wanted to do it a little bit differently than what we've done in other drafts, where we usually wait for that round, 3, 4, 5, 6 talent anyway. We went ahead and stepped out a little bit and went after Travis Kelce early, overpaid for him by $6, and then kind of circled back to the running back spot. Got Aaron Jones at a nice deal when running backs were going a little bit higher. The next player that was nominated, though, was Gibbs, and he's my must-have from a running back perspective this year. We got him for 6 over his value. Got Ridley for right at his market value, Cooper for pretty much right at his market value, and then we were pretty much set with our lineup as far as our starters. Then you get down into the flex spots where you get guys like James Conner, where we got a little bit of a deal there, $8 there. The running back room overall looks really good. We got Alexander Mattison, who's probably going to be a starter every single week for me. Javonte Williams, if he gets anywhere close to the Alvin Kamara level talent, the level of production that Kamara had when Sean Payton was there in New Orleans, I'll really have something going for me from a running back standpoint. And then from the wide receiver room standpoint, that's where I'm a little bit thin. But I'm counting on Travis Kelce pushing me over the top every single week with production at the tight end spot, and I can be a little bit weak at wide receiver in return. So Ridley's my must-have receiver this year. I think his production is going to go through the roof. Trevor Lawrence has never had a receiver like this since he's been in the league, and I think he's really going to see his production really take off this year. Ridley, a true number one receiver before the suspension, of course. Had a year off to really rest up, recuperate, that kind of thing. Now the question will be, for a receiver who's very thin, very light, how does he handle the pounding at the NFL level? That'll be, the bigger question for him if he's able to stay healthy. Amari Cooper played really well last year in an offense that was absolutely terrible. Now Deshaun Watson's going to get more than 5 games to play with his teammates this year. I'm expecting a significantly better season for Deshaun Watson. Do I think he'll be a top 10 quarterback this year? As far as an NFL quarterback, no. But fantasy-wise, I expect Watson to be a firm top 10 option this year. And so that should raise the floor of a guy like Amari Cooper this year, who's a really good receiver, good hands, good route runner, and doesn't show that he's slowing down as of yet. A little bit thin, though, as I mentioned. Neither one of those guys are true number ones in a fantasy lineup. Both of those are borderline number 2 guys. And if both of them live up to the expectation, great. Kelce should push me over the top. If they struggle, DJ Moore's kind of a high-end wide receiver 3 this year. That's pretty much what I have him at right now. Jahan Dotson, anyway, is another receiver I got. Really high ceiling, but he also has a really low floor. That offense could be terrible this year. Last wide receiver I got was Zay Flowers. I was hoping to get Sky Moore, but that did not work out. But Zay Flowers could be kind of the fireworks starter in that Ravens offense. Think of what Marquise Brown was in that offense a few years ago. I think he could have a very similar role this year if all 3 players are healthy in that receiving core, OBJ, Flowers, and Bateman. But if one of those guys goes down, Flowers obviously will get significantly more playing time, and then we could see something really special happen there in Baltimore. But for him being my number 5 receiver, I'm not expecting much. I'll probably end up dropping him if there's a running back that takes off in the week 1 or week 2 that's not drafted, or a wide receiver that has a monster week 1. I'll be like, oh yeah, of course I should have drafted him. But we'll see, how the room ultimately shakes out. But overall, I really like streaming my defenses. Jacksonville goes up against Indianapolis week 1. If you're not streaming your defenses, I think you're doing it wrong. The only defense you should draft based on their overall talent and their ability to produce week in and week out is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. I think Dallas is on the precipice of being that level of defense, but they're not there yet. They rely on the turnover a little bit too much for me. They do kind of have a bend, don't break type of mentality, which is great, but I think in fantasy you're looking for a little bit more of an opportunistic defense. As far as what you can get week in and week out, you try to attack those rookie quarterbacks, those types of things. Like Richardson is going to be the most turnover prone of those rookie quarterbacks, and so I want to get me some of that Jacksonville defense week 1. Kicker, it's kicker. If you're drafting based on your kicker, if you're relying on him being anything special for your team, you did something wrong with your roster. You should not be spending money in your draft on a guy like Justin Tucker, no matter how good he is. You should not be spending money on your defense, no matter how good the San Francisco 49ers defense is. The difference between that defense and the other top 10 defenses that are out there, you're talking maybe a point or two a week, whereas Travis Kelce is going to be a full 100 points more valuable than the next best tight end, and it's not even that close. So extrapolate that over 17 game season anyway. That's a 5+ point advantage every single week for me with Travis Kelce at tight end over the next best tight end, let alone a top 10 tight end. So I think the advantage for me there with Kelce was a little bit more valuable than, say, any other position on the chart. For me, the value there at quarterback with Deshaun Watson, I got lucky and got him for $1, whereas Patrick Mahomes went for 62. I'll take Deshaun Watson for $1. Paid a little bit more for my backup just because I wanted to have a really good one in Trevor Lawrence. Probably could have gotten Dak Prescott for next to nothing as well, but and probably gotten Sky Moore, but I'd rather have Lawrence as my backup than either of those two guys. I think Lawrence kind of gives me that pocket presence, probably more likely to stay healthy than a guy like Prescott, etc. We saw the injuries last year for Prescott. Lawrence, I think, is more of a pocket passer and should be able to stay upright if that offensive line is decent. But I'm counting on him as my backup. I got Watson as my number one because, again, the running ability of Watson, plus that offense should be much more productive this year. Nick Chubb, etc. They should have some decent options there for him to throw the ball to with Amari Cooper, among others. But thank you guys for joining us here tonight. We were going to do another draft for you guys here, but it's almost 10 o'clock, and unfortunately I work open to close tomorrow. But we'll be having a couple of lives for you guys tomorrow. We're going to be doing our NFL Live, getting you guys ready for the NFL season. That will be starting right around 8 o'clock, 8:30, somewhere in there. Immediately after that one, we will do our MLB Live, breaking down everything from around the world of baseball, the crazy race and the AL West, the NL wildcard race, all those types of things. A lot of good pitching performances out there, and then some crazy play between the Rangers and Astros today. Astros winning 13-6 in that heavyweight fight. But thank you guys for joining us again tonight, and we'll see you guys tomorrow evening.